Hey guys, right, I'm going to run you through the journey that you're going to be going on in your coaching. So, to begin, if you're watching this, you're probably ready to make a change, fed up of your current situation, and so you're ready to find out exactly how you're going to get from A to B and achieve the goal you want to achieve. So, what I've done is I've actually put this together just to run you through exactly what you should be expecting in your coaching journey, just to make sure you've got a bulletproof plan and you know exactly how to get there, but also stay there. You know, we want to be making sure we're building up solid foundations to make sure this isn't a quick fix, and instead we can, enjoy the results for the long term. So, to begin, let's get started. So, first off, these are the phases that you're going to be going through with your coaching journey. So, obviously, everyone's journey will look different depending on their adherence, depending on the goal they actually want to achieve, etc. etc. But to begin, everyone starts in phase one. So, phase one is the take back control phase, and it is ultimately there to build better foundations so that your coaching experience is as smooth as possible. So, right now, you will have habits and you will do certain things which aren't necessarily serving the goal that you want to achieve, whether that is to do with your relationship with food, exercise, whatever it may be. We ultimately want to use this phase to take back control, unlearn any bad habits which aren't serving you, and relearn better habits which will get you to that end goal. We're going to address your lifestyle factors, we're going to focus on the education and figure out why you're actually doing each of these things. And ultimately, if we can nail this phase, again, it just makes the whole rest of your journey a lot more smoother. And usually this phase lasts around 2 to 4 weeks. Okay, so that's the take back control phase. Now, like I said, depending on your goal, depends on if you would move on to phase two or phase four and start shredding or start building. So if you are focusing on a fat loss goal, then you would go into phase two, which is your shredding phase. And if you're focusing on a lifestyle, building muscle type of goal, we're going to go straight on to phase four and we're going to start building. Okay. Now, focusing on phase two to begin with, this usually lasts anywhere between 8 to 16 weeks, depending on your adherence to the diet, depending on your willingness to diet as well. It's obviously going to focus on fat loss. We're going to be nailing the habits again that you worked on in the take back control phase. We're going to learn how to navigate in different situations. So, for example, social events, work events, family events, all those sorts of lifestyle things. We want to ultimately learn how to navigate yourself whilst you are trying to lose the weight. And then ultimately, depending on, again, how willing you are to diet, we may need to repeat this phase. Okay, so obviously, if you do have quite a big fat loss goal that you want to achieve, which is going to take longer than 8 weeks, 16 weeks, then what we'd do is we'd do one fat loss phase, we'd then go into a refresh phase, allow yourself to have a bit of a mental and physical break, and then we'd go back into your shredding phase. Okay, this just helps you be adherent to your diet when you are dieting, and just help you in the long term. Right, so obviously, again, it does depend on the goal that you have, but that is kind of how we're looking at your shredding phase. Once you do finish the shredding phase and you've lost all the weight that you want to lose, if that is your goal, we'll then go into your refresh phase. So your refresh phase lasts 2 to 4 weeks. It is basically there as a mental and physical break after each shred phase, okay? So rather than just shredding, dieting, and not really seeing any end goal, we want to make sure you are having a mental and physical break from each of these phases, okay? It will massively boost your energy levels, it will help your adherence, and they're great times to kind of reassess and kind of see how you're getting on. So those phases usually last 2 to 4 weeks. Your calories are basically brought back up so that you can enjoy more food, have more energy to train as well, etc., etc. And like I said, it's a perfect time to assess and reset any targets that we want to set you. Afterwards, we're going to the building phase. So again, like I said, if you didn't initially have any weight loss that you wanted to kind of achieve, we'd go straight into this phase. But the building phase is basically where we're focusing on building shape, we're focusing on building muscle, and you're learning how to fuel your body in doing so. Okay, so you're going to have more food. Obviously when your goal is to build muscle and to change your physique, it does take longer than trying to lose weight, which is why we've set a time set aside more time for this phase, but everyone is different. I have seen quite significant changes in a shorter period of time. Again, it depends how adherent you are to your diet, how aggressive you are with your training, etc., etc. So there are so many factors to it, but focusing on the building phase, we're going to be focusing on more food, training super hard, improving your form, improving your technique, and yeah, ultimately just building as much muscle as possible to build that shape that you want to achieve. Now, after this phase, depending on how much muscle you have built, it is inevitable that when you build muscle, you're also going to gain a little bit of fat as well. Now, depending on the phase and depending on how you've gone about this, you might feel it's necessary to do a short shred phase after this. However, it's not always necessary, and obviously if we can build really clean, and not just be eating for the sake of eating, and instead having a really clean diet whilst you are building, this is going to be less likely. And then once you've achieved this phase, we're then going to go into the autonomy phase. And this is basically where we're looking at life after coaching. We're removing any tracking if you are tracking, and you're ultimately ready to take on life with all the knowledge that you know. Okay, so like I always say, you shouldn't need to have a coach for the rest of your life. I want to ultimately teach you all the things you need to know to be successful by yourself and maintain your results by yourself. Okay, but obviously we need to put in the work first to get you into that position. And usually that lasts a month to 2 months, just to try and, make sure that you do feel autonomous and comfortable and confident that you can maintain the goals that you've achieved. Okay, so these are all the different phases, and I know that's a lot of information all at once. Don't worry, it's not as overwhelming as that. We are just going to go by it bit by bit and break it down, but just to kind of get a bird's eye view on what to expect with your coaching, these are the phases. So just to kind of break it down for you, after each take back control phase, these are the things that we're kind of looking for. So we want to see a massive improvement to your energy. We want to see better sleep, starting to form better habits, starting to build confidence and self-belief, better stress management, and knowing how to fit in your favourite foods, whilst you are improving your diet as well. Okay, because again, as we get into the coaching, you'll realise it doesn't mean that we need to cut out all the foods that we love. And then for the shred phase, your checklist for your shredding phase is going to be improved fitness levels, improved health markers, a reduction in your body fat, improved self-belief and confidence, cemented good habits, and again a reduction in stress and improved control with social commitments. Okay, so all those things which are going to help you make it more of a lifestyle change. And then the refresh phase, which will only be done obviously if you do complete a shredding phase, but that's going to be increased food, reduced physical stress, ability to go on holiday and not sacrifice your actual progress, mental break from dieting, reduced inflammation, and reviewed and reset your targets, okay, so you know what you're working towards next. Building phase, we want to see an improvement on your shape and your specific body parts. So for example, if you want to grow your glutes, we want to be able to see an improvement in your glutes. High levels of food flexibility, very little, if any, body fat regain, like we spoke about, increased mental and physical performance, increased sex drive due to more food, and exceptional levels of recovery, because obviously we should be getting in lots of protein, and we should really understand how to rest your body and recover whilst you're training super hard. And then finally, your autonomy phase. So your autonomy checklist is just going to be to hold complete control over your mindset. You're going to feel physically and mentally incredible. We no longer need to track your food. We've gained all the knowledge we need to know to maintain your results. Your body image is at an all-time high, and you feel confident and comfortable in all previously challenging situations. For example, social events, date night, family events, etc., etc. Okay, so these are kind of the things we're looking for at each phase, and how we know that you're kind of progressing and graduating from each phase. So again, I know that's a lot of information all at once, and I just kind of wanted to give you a bird's eye view of what we're kind of working towards, but going through each of these phases is going to massively help you actually be successful in your journey, and not feel like you need to jump back to step one, where you're currently to at the end of your coaching, So yeah, that is basically the journey of your coaching. So hopefully that all makes sense. If you do have any questions, please do let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys are looking forward to getting started with your coaching, and yeah, hopefully this excites you to obviously eventually be ticking off all of these points within your coaching.